Yo-ho!
Morning guys, so we've arrived in Ketchikan, Alaska. We left Seattle 2 days ago and yesterday we spent the day travelling up. And I mean it's early, it's 6 o'clock in the morning and they've just done an announcement to let us know that we're docked, the gangways are down and we're able to go ashore now. Now I usually would never be up and especially not dressed at this time, it's far too early for that. But it's quite an early port call today because all aboard is at 2:30. Which again I've actually never had an all aboard quite so early before. Not sure why it is, it must be the distance that we have to cover to get to the next port I would imagine. But plan for today, we've got the Lumberjack show booked, which apparently is one of the most famous things to do here. So quite looking forward to that actually. I've seen it on a few TV shows, so keen to see if it lives up to what it looked like on there because it looks really good fun. After that, I think really the show's at like 10 o'clock, so we'll just be pottering about the town and seeing what's there. So we'll take you with us on the camera and show you out and about. Now though, as you know, I'm in an inside cabin, so I don't have the luxury of a view, so I have no idea what it looks like out there. So we'll take a walk up, we'll explore the top deck, and then we'll grab a bite to eat for breakfast, and yeah, head out into Ketchikan. Should have said on that other video that the first thing I'm doing today, because we're up so early, is having breakfast, but I've ordered it to the room. Now on Princess, room service breakfast is included actually, and all you have to do, if I can pick this up with my other hand, is literally the night before you go to bed, throw out your card with what you want on it and what time you want, and they'll deliver it. So I've went for 6:30, so I can eat this now and then get out and about without having to go to the buffet. So we are now off the ship and heading up to the Lumberjack show. I think it's only like a 10-minute walk up here, so if you are looking to do it independently, you shouldn't be too worried about not getting back to the ship or it not waiting for you. From what I can gather, it's literally just around the corner. So we're heading to that now. After, it'll be a wander around the town. Weather-wise, what we're here in July, it's fine. I've got a t-shirt and a Gore-Tex jacket on. But I did bring woolly hats, I did bring scarves, I did bring gloves, because looking at pictures of here, it's always looked really, really cold. But hey, I don't think I'll be needing any of that. Maybe if you come later in the year you would. But for now, let's head up to the show. Okay, we are in the Lumberjack show. It should be starting any minute now.
Axe is at the ready.
Yeah, we paid, what did we pay for this?
$39.95.
Great, so $40 on your in, which is pretty much the same as, I think it was the same as if you were to turn up on the door.
At the show as on the ship, so no ship margin, which is great.
And unfortunately no ability to videotape, but we'll show you what the set looks like now, but we are excited. Okay, that's the show complete. Thoughts?
Absolutely would recommend. Lots of whooping, fist pumping, and do you want to do it or should I? Big lumberjack noise.
I'm not doing it.
Yo-ho!
Yeah, look, $40 if you're coming here, get yourself in here. Okay, so if you're planning to come to Ketchikan, don't worry about the ships being quite far away from the centre. So we run Discovery there, there's Ruby Princess there, there's a Holland America behind, which I'm not overly sure what the name is, but yeah, we are all in this pretty much in the centre today. It's like a 5-minute walk up to Creek Street, which we're heading to now. So yeah, don't worry about having to hike to get all the way in. So if you're coming here, one of the things that you have to check out is Creek Street. I think everyone's probably going to come here later, but it's still early, so not everyone's off the ship yet. But basically, it's all these little houses and shops and cafes that are built like over the creek. In Ketchikan, one thing I didn't know about it is that it's the salmon capital of, I'm going to say the world, but it might not be. And apparently, this is one of the best places to spot them.
We are in Ketchikan, which is the first port on the Discovery Princess trip up to Alaska, and we've decided to get out of the hustle and bustle of the town and we're going up the mountain to see if we can get a view of the ships.
Yeah, so this is pretty near Creek Street, which we showed you a second ago, but basically you can come up here and hopefully we're going to be able to show you guys the ships, but we're not totally sure because these trees are not holding out for us, but yep, watch this space. So I bet you're now absolutely desperate to see the views of the ships we got from the top. Now, as I said, the trees were pretty tall up here, so unfortunately this was all we could see. So we were going to grab fish and chips for lunch, but you can probably see there's the fish and chips, and that is the line. So we've abandoned ship and we are trying to find somewhere else. Okay, if you're ever looking for a sign that the cruise industry is getting back on its feet again, this has got to be it. So we were joined in Ketchikan by 3 other cruise ships, which was so good to see again. We had Silver Shadow at the front. We then had Noordam, which is this one here, which is one of the Holland America ships. Now weirdly, every single port we went to, Noordam was docked beside us, so maybe that's who my next cruise has kind of got to be with. Then we had Ruby Princess in front, which was obviously one of the other princess ships. And we're now heading back to the ship, so you're probably about to find out how well the search for lunch went. So if you're watching this, as someone that lives in Ketchikan, please, please, please think about opening a cafe. Okay, you can probably tell that didn't go to plan. We have actually ended up back on the ship, so maybe it was good though, eh?
It was good. I had 3 courses of buffet, probably the volume of maybe 4 or 5 courses.
Yeah, so anyway, we are heading back out now. There's like loads of gift shops like all over this side of the ship here, so we're heading out now.
Ones as well.
They look alright.
Yeah.
We'll show you what's there, but we'll be coming back on because we leave at 2:30. Now, if you're planning to cruise to Ketchikan, you absolutely should just plan to buy all your Alaska merchandise at the port here, because there's an absolute ton of it. I think the gift shop we went to was just the first one as you got off the ship. Now, one thing that caught me very off guard at the shops here was the fur trade, and I have never ever seen fur so readily available. Won't go into my personal beliefs on the subject at the moment, but do you know, it actually was really interesting to see. I've just never come across it before quite to this scale. Okay, heading back to the ship now. You can probably tell with what I'm wearing that the restraint I had in the last video with not buying from the shops hasn't managed to continue. But yeah, I have managed to get it. Clothes, managed to get Christmas tree baubles of all things, so yeah, it's been good. Heading back on now, and sail away is 2:30, and yeah, we're passing through Snow Pass at 7 o'clock tonight, which is where we're hoping to see whales. Apparently it's the best spot on this cruise to see them, so watch this space on that, I guess. But yeah, for now, we'll see you back on the ship. Right, before sail away, time for a coffee in the atrium. Now, one thing that I think people tend to forget on these ships is that the International Cafe, which is on that ground floor of the main piazza, is all included in your fare. So all the food that you can see on the screen at the moment, this is pretty much available all day. You can also use your drinks package here as well to get all your coffees and all your soft drinks, so definitely recommend checking that out. It's actually so quiet up here though, so we'll show you the deck now, but there's literally no one here, which, considering this is sail away, it's pretty weird. Any that we've done from Southampton, it's been mobbed, but there's like no one out. But hey, we're off. So we've now left Ketchikan. We're due to dock in Juneau tomorrow around lunchtime. And I guess just my thoughts on Ketchikan really quickly. If you are like me and you enjoy getting off the ship right in the heart of the town or right in the heart of the city, you're gonna love Ketchikan. The thing that really caught me off guard was that I literally walked to the edge of the gangway today, and there's independent coffee shops, there's clothes shops directly across the street. Now, it's actually getting increasingly rare, or on the cruise itineraries that I've done recently, it's been getting increasingly rare that you're not a bus away from the action. So that was fantastic. And the other thing that I was really nervous about today was that this ship's back to, I mean, pretty much full capacity. So apparently we've got about 3,500 on board this week, and I went to book my excursions at the start of last week. Now, I know what you're thinking, you should have done it before. 100% agree, but I completely forgot. So by the time I got on, the majority of excursions that I was looking at were already sold out. Now, when you get ashore, there are so many vendors that are trying to get you to go on a wildlife tour, or trying to get you to go on a trolley tour, or trying to get you to do X, Y, and Z. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you don't have an excursion booked, or if your cruise line is sold out by the time you book, honestly, you have nothing to worry about. If it's Ketchikan you're going to, don't panic. I'm going to hopefully be able to tell you what Juneau and Skagway are like in that capacity, but for Ketchikan, absolutely nothing to be concerned about at all. Now, tonight we're sailing into a place called, or an area called Snow Pass. Now, I had never heard of this before, but the guys on board have done a really good job of upselling this to us, or telling us about this. Now, the ship will be cruising through about 7 o'clock, which is, what, about 20 minutes time from now. And apparently this is the place where, out of our entire itinerary this week, we're most likely to see whale activity here. It's essentially a really narrow part of the itinerary where I think there's only 500 metres from one side to the other. And as a result of that, the visibility should be really good across that. Now, hopefully that's going to go to plan, because coming from Scotland, I actually have never seen whales. I know that some people can see dolphins, and I actually think some people do see whales if they go diving in Scotland, but it's certainly nothing that we would see, you know, just cruising up the coast. So yeah, I'm really excited for that actually. Now the plan for the rest of tonight, we are up, I need to be up stupidly early tomorrow, so I'll tell you more in my next video, which will be, I guess, an overview of tomorrow. But we're entering a really scenic part of the cruise tomorrow morning at around 5 AM. Now, you probably figured that with my intro this morning, I hate the mornings. So will I be up at 4:30? Probably not. Will I be up at 5 AM? Probably not. But I will be getting up a lot earlier. So as a result, tonight, I reckon it'll be a little bit more reined in than other nights. So plan for tonight, so I'm going to meet Joe and Laura, my two friends, and we are going to go to the open decks, because unfortunately, you can tell here, I don't have a balcony, so we don't have the luxury, unfortunately, of sitting in one of our rooms watching snow pass and watching the whales, hopefully. So we're going to go to deck 7, which is the promenade deck, and hopefully we'll get a good view there. And failing that, we're going to head up to the top deck. So that in here is kind of what, deck 17-ish that we'll go to. And from there we should be able to get a really good vantage point, and hopefully we can hear the commentary. So yeah, after that we'll head down to dinner, which is in the main dining room. And then after dinner we are heading to the comedy, I was going to say, the magic show. Now, cruise ship magicians to me are actually my favourite act, because I just don't understand how they do it. My mind just isn't capable of getting there, unfortunately. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then because tomorrow is going to be so early, I reckon that I'll probably just head to bed at that point. So there'll be nothing further to report after the magic show. But yeah, look, for now, I better go and get ready, otherwise I'm going to get into trouble for being late. But yeah, I'll take you out to the decks, and hopefully we can see some whales. Okay, so we've been up here for what, like an hour and a half?
Yeah, maybe a little more.
We actually saw things. I'm not entirely sure what we've seen, but we think we
Blowholes.
saw blowholes, so we confirmed we've seen a whale.
Yeah.
We reckon we saw porpoises.
Multiple rainbows.
Multiple rainbows, but we were wildlife hunting, so that doesn't really help.
Still pretty.
But tomorrow morning, we're getting up. We should be coming into the fjord about 5 o'clock, so we'll show you
In
guys
the AM.
in the morning, which isn't ideal. So we'll show you guys what that looks like tomorrow. But for now, we're going to head down to dinner. Okay, so dinner for us tonight, we opted for the Marketplace buffet, and I know quite a few people who would probably turn their nose up to the thought of dining at night in a buffet on a cruise ship, because you've got the beautiful main dining room with fantastic service available to you for dinner, and it's included in your fare. But one thing that I took away from my cruise to Norway earlier this year is that the options available in these buffets at night on cruises is so good. And when you're going through these beautiful parts of the world, it's so much easier to just be able to jump up with your camera and head out to the back to take a couple of pictures, or if there is an announcement from the captain to say, hey, there's whales on the port side, the last thing you want to be is trapped at a formal dining room table on the starboard side, because you're going to miss it. So that's probably my tip. If you're cruising to Alaska or Norway, think about the scenic nights and when you'll be in these fjord areas, and consider a trip to the buffet. So yeah, after dinner it was down to the theatre for the magic show, and this guy that Princess have got on the ship this year is, to be honest, pretty unbelievable. I know I said earlier that my mind isn't capable of understanding magic, but my two friends that I was away with usually would be pretty good with that kind of thing, but honestly this guy completely caught us all off guard. So we ended up sitting like 2 or 3 rows from the front, so we thought that we could, see everything going on behind the scenes, but nope, completely stumped. So absolutely no idea. So if you're due on Discovery, make sure you go along and see this guy, because honestly he's really good. But anyway, as I said earlier, Endicott Arm is tomorrow, so we are due to get up at 5ish. Let's hold your breath on that one. So it was time for the long walk back to the room, and yeah, we'll show you what happens next week in Endicott Arm. But hey, look, for now, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to the channel, And all that's left for me to do is show you what's coming up next week.